Hi everyone, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. If you're new, welcome, and welcome back to our regular community. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently trading at 41,713, down 0.06%. Ethereum, ETH trading at 25.93, up 5.16%. I have hidden knowledge gems throughout this video. Unless you watch to the end, you'll miss them. See how many you can find. Let's have a look at the Ethereum tokens. Link doing well, 2314 up 5.77%. Matic up 5.37% to $1.10. Looking quite healthy at the moment. If you're new to the channel, everything I do for you is free. Twice a day, 7 days a week, I share my experience as a full-time technical trader with over 20 years of experience to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. I'd like to call out and say thank you very much to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. You're amazing people. Thank you so much. In a previous episode, we talked about Rule 710, I am worthy. We talked about how our actions create results and confidence. When a person's actions are based in fear, excitement, and terror, the results that are created are based in fear, excitement, and terror. Confidence is hard to come by in circumstances like that. We talked about basing actions which are really driven by beliefs, thoughts, and feelings, creating actions where learning, probability, patience, and systems work. I want to give you a little bit more insight into that. I think it will help you a lot. I'd like to introduce you to Rule 307. Excitement is a delayed fill. Now, you're saying, what do you mean, Ken? Excitement? I thought you said we shouldn't be excited about something. Hey, it's human nature to get excited. Why don't we get excited? But about the right thing, about probabilities, systems, and patience. I'll show you what I mean. This is Bitcoin's current price. We're zoomed in the 30-minute chart. We can notice that Bitcoin has been doing really well. It's very strong. Look at this sharp spike up, sharp spike back. A great time to accumulate. Spikes up, especially recently. Now, how do we think about getting excited about a delayed fill? Rule 307. How do we create that excitement? Every single line you see on this chart, I use as a buy order. It's really interesting. We're always seeking to lower the average buy price. I have a very specific system that I use for trading. One thing that I do is that I say, I love sharp spikes up because I sell them and then I buy back at support. Sharp spikes up, buy back at support. I'm always waiting for a really sharp spike downwards. A lot of people in the community have reached out to me and said, Ken, can you tell us what to do when we reach the peak? I think that might be premature. I'm really worried that things may be taken out of context. I think that when we get there, we can talk about it. But for now, let's just focus on accumulating and getting the lowest overall buy price in action. When we talk about buying at support, it's like this: buy at levels down. The market is always going up and down. What we want to do is to take advantage of the fear that naturally occurs inside the market, which is generally replaced by euphoria pretty quickly. Charlie Munger is 97 years old. Good on you, Charlie. Wow. Charlie works with Warren Buffett at Berkshire Hathaway. Charlie says, great investing requires a lot of delayed gratification. When we place those buy orders at support, we're delaying gratification. That incredibly improves our chances of being profitable. We sometimes bring our little figures in here, C3PO, who gets swept away with FUD and FOMO, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. and fear of missing out. And little Yoda over here, who's pretty cool. Cool you must be, yes. Sorry, couldn't resist. Okay, C3PO wants everything now. Now. Buy. Sell. What happens is C3PO tends to jump in at the top. Yoda is full of patience and he says, yeah, I'm just going to wait until price comes to me. That's the key. I hope sometimes people say, Ken, why are you using Star Wars figures? I don't know. I love Star Wars. Inside our community, everything is about real wealth. Security, financial freedom is just one part of real wealth. Sunday had this beautiful statement, without delayed gratification, there is no power over self. This is a really nice statement. When we gain power to stop us from moving into something, we actually gain control over ourselves. It's a really cool thing. It's very worthwhile. Rule 174, the T-cube method, trend, timing, and trigger. As the markets are closed, we're not going to worry too much about the stock market, but I really do want to go through your favorite alts and just paint a bit of a picture so that we understand the overall analysis better. We're using the KS process to determine the true trend. Investing always involves substitution. Investors, traders can put their money into the stock market, put it into precious metals like gold, or put it into Bitcoin and alts. The choice is always up to that person. We can see gold down 9%. We can see the S&P up 34% and Bitcoin up to 61%. COVID is a really contentious issue. It's something that brings out a degree of upset in some people. I'm really sorry. I'm not here to offend anyone. I'm really here to keep as many people safe as I humanly can. I would just like to point out something that may give some insight as to why I cover COVID, especially the Delta variant. If we time travel back to March 20, what happened was that COVID was blamed for the market sell-off. Now, if it was COVID, if it was the US liquidity crisis, if it was something else, we don't really know. Maybe it was a bundle of all of those things. But we do know that the market was showing weakness. You see this weakness here, and then it shot down. Now, what did that actually mean? This is in Bitcoin. It actually came down 63.32%. Now, this is Bitcoin coming down 63.32%. You know the alts come down more than Bitcoin. That's a really devastating thing. What we do in this trend area is we put an early warning system together for market movements. You see here, there was a crossover. This is all weakness. When we get weakness, we have to really be careful. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to share an insight, an edge, an early warning system so that your portfolio is not punished by 80-90% losses. We'll do our best to create these early warning systems. If we look at the NASDAQ 100, we can see that weakness playing in through that COVID problematic time. It came down 32.1% and then it retraced 47%. It repaired in 74 days. But I have to tell you that when this came down, and many people watching this channel already understand this, the other stocks in the market were utterly crushed. I hope that helps to explain a little why we are looking at COVID. What we see is the weekly case change increasing currently. We want that number to decrease. I'm always watching the markets. We've put together, I believe, YouTube's best algorithm, if you like, at detecting market weakness across everything, stocks, commodities, government data, everything. We can see some countries are reducing the number of cases. That is fantastic. That is what we want. We want all of these cases from week to week to keep going down. That's what we're looking at. Just to let you know, there's many other early warning systems I put in place for economic data. The two major risks that we face in the economy at the moment are increasing interest rates and tapering. Those things will happen when we get to expansion. When exactly we get to expansion will be determined by the data. That's why I'm tracking everything we possibly can track. I hope this helps to explain that as well. Okay, let's get into fun stuff. What we're looking at here, we're going to go through Bitcoin and probably about the top 100 alts. What I would like you to do, this is a bit of a gem, this is really important. I'd like you to just, as a normal thing, look at many. Many people, when they start, just look at the particular thing that they're interested or invested in, and that's totally understandable, but it's best if you look at many things. Understand the patterns. What I've done here is I've just changed this to an area diagram so we get rid of some noise. I just want to help you to understand the basics here. And then look at these different patterns. This is Bitcoin's pattern. We look at those patterns and then try to apply these patterns to your alts. How does it look when you overlay these variety of different patterns to what you currently hold? And then seek to allocate all these charts into groups. I'll explain that as we go through. I'm going to basically say under, at, or over this particular support. If it's under support, if it's over support, that gives an idea. That's the current price, that little blinking thing. Let's have a look at Ethereum. Note this pattern. This kind of looks like a V, right? Maybe a V. If you've got any ideas, please let me know what you think that looks like. Okay, we're looking at Ethereum. I've overlaid the price of Bitcoin here so you can see Bitcoin's fingerprint. This is kind of a V, but it's not all the way back up yet, is it? It's not as strong as Bitcoin's move, but it's getting there. This is under. Ethereum is under. What about Binance Coin? You got a long thing here and not so much coming up here. There's a long way to go, isn't there? What would you call this? Like a backwards L? Or just the start of a V, maybe a 1/3 V, whatever you call it is totally cool. You are an artist, and as artists, you can do whatever you like. I love it. Go for it. Let's look at ADA. What's happening with Cardano? Well, it's under at the moment. It's got a kind of a L thing happening, or it's a V, a really short V. Maybe if you look to that top, it's way down, isn't it? Okay, let's keep on going. It's up to you. Just call it whatever works for you. This is really interesting. We can't go from that peak because if we do, we cut through here. So we've got to adjust things slightly to get it towards the price action, to make it representative. So let's look at this. This is a kind of an L, but we know we're not back up to the peak. That's kind of a maybe a 40% L. I don't know. I don't want to put words into your mouth. I want you to really think it through. It's important that you gain the skill. Let's look at Doge. What's happening here? We got this long area down. It's under this particular line, so that's showing a bit of weakness. It's a long way from the top, isn't it? Okay, what would you call that? Just think about the different groups that you can put these different alts into. This is kind of a V, okay, and it's above, it's up, over that. Now, what do you call this? Maybe that's, I don't know, what is that? Like a half V or a 40% V? Depends where you put the peak. Okay, let's look at Uni. What are we looking at here? We've crossed over that. We've got this standardized line that we've drawn in. That's the peak. That's an L. You call it whatever percentage you want. Let's have a look at Bitcoin Cash. It's over. That's good. That's showing strength. Now, what do we notice about here? What's the gap? Okay, you think about that. This is probably very visual. If you're listening to this one on your headphones, you may need to look at the graphs because it will give you a much better understanding. Litecoin, we can see this line down. Now it's under, isn't it? How far is it from the top? You be the guide of that. It's your artwork. You can do whatever you want. That's the beauty of being an artist. You can do a Picasso on this. Okay, we look at this. This link, chain link, is above. It's showing good strength. Look at that. It's like a bouncing ball. It's bouncing uphill. It's doing well. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Okay, you just figure out what you would like to call this. I love using numbers. For example, if we look at chain link, what is this? Maybe from that bottom to that top, you can figure out kind of a percentage and put a number there, or just a number out of 1 to 10 if you like. Whatever you want to do, it's totally cool. You're an artist. Let's have a look at Sol. What do we see here? It's quite strong, isn't it? It's almost back to the peak already. Okay, what do you call that? That's kind of a V, but a pretty sharp V. You see Bitcoin's price, Bitcoin's fingerprint, and Sol's fingerprint. Well, they're doing really well. Let's have a look at Matic. Poor old Matic. It's been problematic. We need to give Matic some love. It's down under that particular line at the moment, and it's a long, long way to go, isn't it? Up to there. Okay. You're looking for groups. This is the key thing. Long Ethereum Classic, a long resistance here. We're broken above. The bouncing ball is kind of not going uphill. Hey, that's a pretty cool way of looking at it. You can think about a ball bouncing. Now it's inversed. It's in the upside down world. Ethereum Classic is under. So you think about how you would like to represent that. This is a bit of a interesting one, Stella. Let's just look at it from here, but you can draw your eye out. You know what we're doing. We're trying to figure out how far it is away from that peak. It could almost be like a percentage measure between the peak and where it is, but you've got to figure out what the strength is. The ball is bouncing up the support line. Whoops, it's now bouncing under the support line. It's under at the moment. Let's have a look at theta. Okay, the ball was bouncing up that support line and it's kind of got confused. It's over there somewhere. Theta is under. You can think about how far away it is from that peak. Let's have a look at VET. The really interesting thing with all these charts is they're all unique. I love that about this kind of trading and analysis. Everything is so unique. Now, what's the bouncing ball doing? It's bouncing up the support, bounce, 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 and now it's gone under and it's bouncing off the resistance. It's gone, VET has gone down here somewhere. So it's currently under. How far does it have to go to the top? What's its journey? That's a good one. You think it out. Whatever you think is great. Luna. Ooh, look at Luna. What's Luna doing? It's going to the moon. Okay, that's nice. We look at this upward support line. The ball of price is bouncing off this support. Whoa, it's bouncing. It's like a super ball. It's bouncing. Ooh, what's going to do now? That's pretty cool. That's a different kind of group, isn't it? You might say, well, you know, that's something different. What's Filecoin doing? What's Phil up to? Okay, we're looking at this kind of composition. The ball was bouncing. Now it's gone underwater. It's like a balloon. Maybe it's a balloon. It's full with helium. It's being weighed down, but it's trying to get back to the line. Okay, what does this look? How far away from the peak is that? As I say, you're an artist. You come up with any analysis that helps you out. Okay, Tron, what's happening here? Lots of resistance. Now the ball is starting to bounce, 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 bounce. It's just hugging the line. It's very cuddly. Tron is very cuddly. It's just almost above that line. and you think about how far off is it? How can you group these different alts together? XMR, what's happening here? How's the ball bouncing? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Oh, it's gone under. Okay, but it's just under, just recently. What's that looking like? How far is that from the peak? About halfway there, potentially? Let's have a look at Aave. What's Aave doing? What's Aave up to? Bouncing ball, bounce. Yeah, gone under. Now it's underwater. It's over here somewhere. It's under currently. But how far is it from the peak? It's a bit closer, isn't it, than a lot of the other alts. See, it's not just the support and resistance line that is important. This is why I love doing this analysis with you. I think it really helps. Okay, let's have a look at this line. The key line is we're looking really here. So bouncing along the line is holding strong. The more times it bounces, the stronger the line is. The less it touches the line above the line, just like around here, the stronger it is. Now, how far does it have to go? Ooh, it's got a bit of a way to go. Okay, let's have a look at Cake. What's Cake doing? We've got the bouncy ball. Ooh, got a bit of strength in that bounce. Doesn't even need to come back to the line. Bounce. Ooh, it's hit the line and now it's under the line, but it's trying to get back up to the line. It's currently under. I decided to represent the price like this. I could have done it with the conventional candles, but I thought this would give you a lot more understanding of the different patterns. Let me know in the comments if it helps or not. I can easily go back to the other one if you find the other one is more helpful. Whatever you need, I'm here to help. Okay, let's have a look at FTX token. Okay, it's come down, cut through that resistance. Now it's almost recovered. Very similar to Bitcoin's price action, isn't it? Now let's have a look at this line. Bouncing up, bounce, bounce, very strong, very strong. Let's have a look at Axie Infinity. Okay, what's it doing? It's bounced up here, hit this line, bounced down, come through. It's a super ball. Bounced, and now what's it doing? It's just retracing. Look at the difference here. We can see a divergence. This often happens between Bitcoin's price and alts that rally before Bitcoin does. It's quite normal. Okay, let's look at Algorand. Oh, by the way, that line is up there just to help you. Okay, we're looking at this line cutting through here. Oh, what happened to poor old Algorand? Algorand needs some love. It's got bouncing very well and then bounced under. It's losing a bit of steam. Okay, that's under and has a long way to go. Let's have a look at the graph. We can see the graph cutting that resistance, bouncing well. Now it's increasing in its strength to bounce. That's always a good thing. What do we know? Price is always moving in a wave. Let's have a look at MKR. We can see the bounce here. It's above. That's always a good sign. We look at the relativity between Bitcoin. How far is that away? What sort of pattern is that? Which sort of patterns do you like, really? That's another question you can ask yourself. Let's look at Cosmos. We can see this resistance playing in here. We can see the bounce, good, nice bounce, but went flat and then went under, and it's trying to get back. It's a little bit below resistance now. Let's have a look at Neo. Neo, bouncing along this support line. This is really the line that we're interested in. We don't really care about that line. It's just there to consolidate your thinking. It's bouncing along here. It didn't come down to bounce off this line. It bounced before it hit it. Wow, that's pretty cool. Neo is quite above the line. That's interesting, isn't it? XTZ, Tezos. What's Tezos doing? It went for a bounce and went, nah, I just want to chill. I'm going sideways for a while. It's under that line. I hope this is helping. I think that you might be able to see that the different classifications of alts are fitting into a variety of different groups. Let's have a look at that resistance. The ball bouncing, bounce, 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 bounce. Strong. IOTA is strong and it's above. That's nice. It's always nice to be above water. Okay, what are we looking at here? The ball bounce, bounce, bounce. It's above. AVAX is above. It's holding the line. And you can see it has a long way to go up here. There's a lot of different ways to look at these percentages. Look at COM. How fascinating is COM? It's a completely different kind of graph. We have this resistance coming in here. Look at this upwards support as well. We can see the ball bouncing, bounce, bounce, whoops, bounce, whoa, underneath, under the water, supported by this line. It's coming up again, bounce, bounce, it's coming. You can see it's just under at the moment for comp. It's probably a pretty cool idea to think of price as like a bouncing ball. How much power does each bounce have? It's got a lot of power if it doesn't have to come near any lines. Let's look at BitTorrent. What's BitTorrent up to? It's bouncing, it's above, which is always good. Bouncing along this support, well, it doesn't need to, it's floating now. It's bouncing or it's floating. It's kind of floating back to the line, but it's above it, which is great. H-bar, Hedra hash graph. The line, bounce, decent bounce. Look at this. Yeah, it's doing well. It's above. DCR, Decred. Look at this slant. Look at this angle. That's another thing that you can do. You can measure angles. A bit of a hidden gem there. I love measuring angles. I can make about 50 episodes on measuring angles. It's really fun. I'll make sure I start to bring that in to share with you. Okay, let's look through. Yeah, we can see it's got above this resistance. Now it's bouncing, ping, and it's hugging the line. This is a hugger. Always nice to have a hug. T-fuel. What's theta fuel doing? It's bouncing along this support line and it said, yeah, I just want to take a breather, and it's below now. Let's look at engine. Engine is bouncing up quite strongly over that resistance and now losing a bit of steam. It's under. Look at ZIL. What's ZIL doing? It's bouncing along this support line and trying to get above it. It's just under at the moment. Let's look at one. What's one doing? It's very interesting, isn't it? We're just dealing with this immediate resistance here and the immediate uptick. I've tried, as in the last episode, to make it really, really consistent for you. So that's why we're focusing just in here. Okay, we can see Harmony bounced along this line and then went sideways, and now it's coming up a little, but it is under support at the moment. What's DGB doing? It's bouncing along support, got weak, now underneath, now getting above. It's above. It's really cool to look at this kind of price action. When you look across tens and tens of alts, you'll just exponentially improve in your capabilities. The ball bouncing, bounce, bounce, it's still above. How cool is that? Good on you, ZRX. What's KSM doing? Ooh, KSM is bounced and just laying around drinking by the beach pina coladas, but we can see, I love that pina colada reference, by the way, that was in the comments. That's so funny. Okay, we can see it's under support. What about Chili's? Chili's bounce strongly. You can see so many characteristics of these alts all playing out across different alt patterns. It's really cool. Now it's under, it's going sideways. That's Chili's. Chili's is under. What about Rune? Rune bounce. Wow, didn't it bounce strongly? Look at that. Pang, Super Ball. And it's up here. That's showing a bit of strength. That's a bit interesting, isn't it? What about Waves? Waves has done a wave up. Look at these patterns. Are you seeing any similarities in the patterns? That's what I want you to look for. I'm trying to just very slowly transfer knowledge to you so that you can look at any chart and just really get a feel for it. It's a very cool thing. And of course, please reach out and let me know what else you would like me to cover off. I'm here for the community. We can see waves is under. What about EGLD? We can see a bounce, and look at this weakness hitting that resistance, going along resistance. You see it's a long way from this support line. Okay, what about dash? It's taking a dash. Yeah, this is good. Look at that ball, bounce. Didn't even need to come back to the line. Bounce, bounce, it's above. Fresh air. I call this fresh air. I love fresh air. Fresh air is cool. What is XEM or NEM doing? We can see the ball bouncing, hugging the line, but above it. That's really positive. XEM is above. STX. Wow, what is Stacks up to? It's up to mischief, isn't it? We look at this line, the bounce went below and now above. You can see that this is a different type of grouping, isn't it? It has a unusual format. Let's make that a different color. Zcash. What is ZEC doing? It's bouncing along this support and is getting upwards. That's nice. It's above. HNT. What is it doing? Bouncing along the line. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Finding fresh air. More fresh air. That's power. Oh, that's always a nice thing. What is YFI doing? It bounced. See this resistance. This resistance slowed it down. Now it's underwater. It is below. What's hot up to? Okay, it's bouncing along that line. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Just gone under it. It's under. What is sushi up to? It's bounced and then gone flat. You can see a lot of these patterns are repeating. That's why I love you to go through so many. It will make you incredibly powerful at analysis. What's happening here? Bounce, 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 but fresh air above for SNX. That's really good. Let's look at OMG. Bouncing, bouncing, keeping close to the line, but still above. That's good. OMG is above. Near is below. What did it do? It bounced, bounced, went kind of flat, but is increasing. You notice that there are some distinct patterns coming out here. Wow, we're doing a lot together. Let's have a look at BAT. Bounce, bounce, bounce. It's above. Kind of cool. Bancor, BNT, bouncing along this line, hugging it, just under at the moment. QTUM, it's hugging this line above. That's a bit of a show of strength, isn't it? You notice how it follows Bitcoin's show of strength. It's above. Let's look at Zen. Always good to be Zen. Okay, we see the line bouncing above, fresh air, hit the line. Now it's come through. It's under. You can see some of these things are really repeating themselves, aren't they? You can only see this kind of detail when you go through a lot of alts. What's happening with ontology, ONT? It's bouncing up. Look at that. That's got some power in that bounce. It's above. That's a bit green. Why don't we give it a green? SC. Ooh, that's green already, isn't it? We can just see it already. Look at that. It's doing takeoff. Okay, it's bouncing, keeping close to the line, getting fresh air, fresh air, fresh air, and a lot of fresh air. You know what I mean by fresh air now, don't you? That's a gem. Fresh air is a gem. And good for you too. CRV, bouncing, hitting resistance, going above, hugging the line. It's just under at the moment. FTM, Phantom, what's it doing? Bouncing along the line, bit of fresh air, but coming down to that support. It's above. ANKR. Wow, we've got to make that one green already, don't we? Look at that fresh air. I love fresh air. I hope you love fresh air too. Fresh air is cool. Sometimes. Bounce, bounce. Look at all that fresh air. It's awesome. RVN, Raven coin, bouncing along support, just kind of hugging it just a little bit under. With this kind of analysis, you're so far ahead of just about everyone in the crypto space. People don't do this kind of analysis. Let's have a look at that support line. You can see it bouncing up well. That's quite a sharp angle as well. BTG doing well, just a little bit above. CTSI, what's Cartesi doing? It's bouncing along, just hugging the line. Unfortunately, it's just a little bit under. What's AR? What's AR doing? It's bouncing, hit the line, bounce, bounce, got some fresh air. Fresh air is strength. That's what you want to look at. Let's give it a green. What's Dent doing? Dent's just chilling at the moment below the line. You can see that particular chill zone. We can call it chill zone. DSLA. What's DSLA doing? Bouncing along. Got some fresh air. Okay, that's good. When I put green next to these things, I'm not suggesting you buy any of them. I'm just suggesting that the chart looks interesting. Okay, what do we see here? Above resistance, holding the line, fresh air. That's kind of nice. IOST, bouncing along. Not that much fresh air, so not so green, but you know, it could get there. But its IOST is above the line. Okay, Cartier chain, this is a new one. What's it doing? It's bouncing, got over that resistance on strength. Again, I'm not suggesting you buy this stuff. I'm just showing you right across the crypto market. These are all coins that people love. So I really want to cover them off for you. And there's hundreds of them, so I'm doing my best. It's got a lot of fresh air. Okay, let's give it a green. Carver. Wow, Carver's interesting. We have to give that another color, don't we? Because that's a different kind of chart. It's going well. It's below that resistance, but look at that power. We could also just as easily go up to here and draw a line of support now because it was once resistance, and that would be absolutely fair. Let's look at Mana. Decentraland. It came up, bounce, bounce, bounce to hit resistance, now bouncing along resistance and finding some fresh air. That's not bad. Not quite green yet, but getting there. Let's have a look at Nano, bouncing along this line, going underneath and just sort of sunbaking a bit at the moment, just chilling. What about NMR? Bouncing along the line, a little bit of fresh air, but is coming back to the line, so we can't give that a green yet. Okay, Syntropy, what's that doing? NOIA. So many interesting coins that the community has. Again, I'm not suggesting that you get into these. I'm just saying that our community has them. What's this particular line? It's getting held, dipped a bit under, now showing a bit of fresh air. Let's give it a green. What's Rose up to? It's always good to know what Rose is up to. She's bouncing along this line and some fresh air. That's also pretty interesting. We're just looking for strength. We need to track this. Don't forget, it's all about your entry. You can have the best thing in the world and enter at the wrong spot and get, for lack of a better word, pummeled. And you can pick the worst thing in the world and get in at a great spot and turn it into an absolute winner. So it's not really so much the particular coin, it's your entry. And then if it has power, yeah, that's what you're looking for, but it has to maintain it. Okay, RSR, we can see it bouncing along and just chilling, but starting to elevate back up to that line. Let's have a look at SPI. SPI crossed across resistance. You notice when they cross across resistance, they tend to come back to try and test resistance. and it's hugging this line. It's a hugger. SBI is a hugger. What's Super doing? It's trying to be Superman or Supergirl. Okay, Superwoman. It's bouncing along this line. Oh, it's just gone under recently. It's just having a breather. SXP. What's cooking with SXP? This resistance crossed across it very well, and it's got fresh air. Let's give it a green. What's Telcoin doing? I know I make a lot of people happy by putting in Telcoin, and I want to. I'd love to make the community happy. So we can see this particular support bouncing up, but such a strong angle to maintain. So Tel is just chilling a bit, just gathering strength. What's Tomo doing? Wow, this is a different kind of one. Let's give that a different color. This upward support, this cross, very interesting. Note this open air. It's very interesting to identify. Wow, Quant is definitely a different kind of coin. We went through yesterday and looked at these particular lines. I said that I would be interested in this area. I get really excited when a thing is filled because it's so far down. SHIB. What's SHIB doing? Oh, poor old SHIB. Come on, SHIB. You can do better than that. It's under. It's under at the moment by a long way. VRA. There's a couple of VRAs depending on what. This is on Bittrex. So I'm not sure what people wanted with VRA, what platform, but I'll do both. We can see the ball bouncing and it's just gone a little bit under. Let's have a look at Bittrex. Sorry, VRA, Veracity on KuCoin. Two VRAs, same ticker but different things. Okay, bouncing along and just chilling, just relaxing. Or are they the same thing? I don't know. Veracity. Okay, XVG. What's XVG? It's on the verge. It's bouncing along this support, gone underneath, but it really wants to get back up there. And somebody asked me to look at Hex, and I will. This is a very lightly traded one. I could only find it on Uniswap. I typically, personally, this is a bit of a gem that might help some people. If you want to be really focused in your trading and investing, I think the top 100 is really, really good. I'd just like to let you know that there are currently 11,122 cryptos in existence, and a lot of those will basically die. Some of them will do well. I think, and I've really tried it all. I've tried cryptos outside, you know, the 500 to 1,000. Sometimes they do well, and most of the time you tend to lose everything. You've got to be really, really careful, unless you're just simply doing a I don't care about the money and I can afford to throw it into the wind kind of thing, but I don't know who really fits into that category. Because you're so awesome and you've stayed to the end, I'm going to share something really, really cool with you. This is the price of Bitcoin going back 2011. Look at this. Notice the phases. Phase 1, big candle. Oh, look at that. We're in phase 1 now. Phase 2, the bear market. Bear market. Consolidation is phase 3 and 4. Phase 3 and 4. We're only in phase 1. This was my target that I set, 486,000. It's reasonable that we could actually reach that. And it's reasonable because a lot of people miss that it's not about the chart now. It's about adoption. Really interesting. It's a real gem for you. I hope this helps. If you're new to the channel, I would like to thank you very much for watching. It's really nice to have you here. And for our very dedicated community, wow, you are such amazing people. I read every comment, or I at least endeavor to, and it's just beautiful. We have the best community, I believe, on YouTube. It's fantastic. You're wonderful people. I hope you found this content useful. I do these videos to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from. And of course, if you have any questions, I'm here for the community. That's really what I do. So anything I can help you with, please let me know in the comments. If you would like twice daily updates, 7 days a week on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. And we have free groups on Facebook and Discord. You can follow me on Twitter, and you can direct message me on any of those platforms as well. Crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and the worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there. Take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.